Hello and welcome to Pluribus Unum's Fireside Chats. Not as good as FDR's, but hey, it's something. Alright, today's the day we've all been waiting. It is episode 300. I did actually think about at one point making this a live episode, but I don't think I have the time, or it just doesn't seem like it'll work. I don't know. I haven't tested whether or not I can actually stream again, but whatever. And this episode, you've already read the title, so you know that this episode is going to be pretty interesting. But we're going to have to wait for that. First, let's get right into the news. Now first, I had initially... Shit. I guess I'll just say it. That was because I had recorded a couple of segments for the big project. Ooh, because I've been fucking lazing about it, even though I don't have that much time to do it. I'm trying to buckle down and trying to make sure that I have enough of it so I can keep working on it. All right. So originally I planned to cover a lot more news stories, but I think really, as this seems, we're gonna be all the news is gonna revolve around a similar topic, and we all know what that topic is, unfortunately, Israel. And the first thing is some form of good news. The bid to oust member of the Knesset, Ofer Cassif, over backing the ICJ genocide case falls short in the Knesset. So Ofer Cassif is remaining in the Knesset. That's pretty good, but there's a little bit of a controversy about this, and we'll get a bit more in depth about it. So basically, here's what happened. If you don't remember, I've covered this in previous, but Ofer Cassif is one of the members of Hadash-Ta'al, and he has been one of the most outspoken members regarding regarding opposing Israel's genocide in Palestine. And what has ended up happening, he's been a pretty controversial figure for a long period of time. Apparently when he was younger, it said that at one point he refused military service, but I guess he was a bit more of okay, so basically what ended up happening is he, of course, expressed controversy and opposition to Israel's occupation in Palestine and their genocide of Palestinians, and he's been a bit due to that fact, Israel's not necessarily a fan of him, and he's been getting a lot of attention. One of the things that happened is that he briefly got censured and then removed from the Knesset for a little bit. But then they wanted to go one step further and saying that Ofer Cassif had to be removed from the Knesset. But as you can tell, that didn't end up happening. But let's take a look a little bit, because I actually managed to find this thing. It took me a while to find because it's only in Hebrew. But yeah, they show right here. It was a pretty lopsided vote, all things considered. But we'll actually get into a little bit here, because I decided to go through all of this and actually mark through, because this is how it got fucking weird. If you notice, 85, 11, 1, that's not all the members of the Knesset. So I had to do some triangulation to figure out all the exact numbers. So let me explain in detail the Knesset vote, because here's how it is. Okay, so here's the Knesset vote if we were to go purely based on party. As you can see, it ended up like this. These ones are the hard right parties, basically Likud and anything to the right of Likud. Then we have Shas, which is this Christian Democratic one, which also voted yes, very much like them. But then there was a little bit of a controversy. As you can tell here, we have the members of Hadash-Ta'al, the members of Ram, and then one member of the Labour Party. And we'll get into why that happened in a second. So basically, here's what happened. So these three, green means they voted to expel Ofer Cassif. dark red means they voted to not expel Ofer Cassif. This is supposed to be black, which means that they were present and then did not vote. Like, they did not vote. And what ended up happening was this. The gray are people who protested by not voting at all. What ended up happening is Labor, Yesh Atid, and Blue and White, or the National Resilience Party, basically, they decided to give their members individual votes. Like, if they wanted to vote to expel Cassif, they could do it. If they didn't want to vote to expel Cassif, they could do it. But it seems that Labor is the only one that actually had, at least one member of Labor actually had the guts to officially, oppose the expulsion of Cassif. I think that is genuinely good, but unfortunately, that doesn't bode well for the other three members of Labor. Which is why I find it perplexing that people still legitimately are like, Labor is the one that'll save the day. And I find it even more funny considering, literally, just objectively by the fact, Labor is not going to save the day because Labor's not even the biggest left-wing party. They have 4 members. Hadash-Ta'al has 5. So, yeah. But also, some things happened during the vote that, since this is a visual episode, I can show. First, we have this one, which is based coming from the leader of Hadash-Ta'al, Ayman Odeh. Let's go.
בנימין נתניהו, אתה נתניהו מסיים את דרכך כשכל העולם מדבר על מדינת פלסטין. אתה מסיים את דרכך במצב הביטחוני הכי גרוע למדינת ישראל. אתה התרברבת בכלכלה, תראה את המצב הכלכלי. כל העולם מדבר על מדינת פלסטין. אני גאה בעם הזה שנאבק למען שחרורו. אין דרך חוץ מהכיר בזכויות הלאומיות של שני העמים, מדינה לצד מדינה, ויהיה שלום שיטיב עם הפלסטינים ועם היהודים, למרות המדיניות הגזענית שלך. תעוף מהפוליטיקה, תשחרר את שני העמים, תשחרר את שני העמים, תשחרר את שני העמים ממך.
Alright, so that shows more proof that Ayman Odeh is based and sad that he's going to be gone by the next election. But thankfully, Benjamin Netanyahu has basically held off on doing elections for a little bit, so Ayman Odeh is going to be sticking around for a little bit longer. Alright, so next thing I want to show is something that one of Benjamin Netanyahu's own cabinet ministers said during this ability to expel Cassif.
לא אתה, תקשיב טוב, אדון גייס 50, מר כסיף, לא אתה ולא השותפים שלך שמגנים עליך מבית ומבחוץ מזיזים לנו כהוא זה. הממשלה הזו לא מגמגמת לגביך. אתה יכול להמשיך לחלום שנסיים את הלחימה ללא ניצחון. אנחנו לא מתביישים לומר שאנחנו רוצים לראות את חיילי צה"ל הגיבורים והקדושים שלנו תופסים את סינואר והמחבלים שלו באוזניים וגוררים אותם בכל הרצועה בדרך למרתפי שב"ס, אבל שב"ס של בן גביר, לא של ברלב או מיכאלי, או במקרה הכי טוב לארון קבורה כזה או אחר. אני אישית גאה בהריסות של עזה, ושכל תינוק, גם עוד 80 שנה מהיום, יספר לנכדיו מה עשו היהודים שרצחו להם משפחות, אנסו אותם וחטפו להם אזרחים. אתה והחברים שלך יכולים לחלום שנאפשר לכם לבנות ממשלה, כי אם אתם חושבים שהפרס על שחיטת יהודים, אונס נשים, עריפת ראשים וחטיפת אזרחים יהיה לקבל לשבת בממשלת שינוי, אתה חולם. תצעקו עד מחר שלום עכשיו ובחירות עכשיו, מקפלן ועד עזה שישמעו אתכם. לנו יש משימה, אני מסיימת, והדבר האחרון שניתן לכם הוא שעופר כסיף יעלה להר הבית עם דגל פלסטין, וסינואר יהיה שר הביטחון של המדינה הפלסטינית כמו אחיו ערפאת. לא יונה ולא עלה של זית, רק חרב לערוף לסינואר את הראש, זה מה שהוא יקבל מאיתנו.
So let's run by that again. just want to see this one more time?
מתביישים לומר שאנחנו רוצים לראות את חיילי צה"ל הגיבורים והקדושים שלנו תופסים את סינואר והמחבלים שלו באוזניים וגוררים אותם בכל הרצועה בדרך למרתפי שב"ס, אבל שב"ס של בן גביר, לא של בר-לב או מיכאלי, או במקרה הכי טוב לארון קבורה כזה או אחר. אני אישית גאה בהריסות של עזה, ושכל תינוק, גם עוד 80 שנה מהיום, יספר לנכדיו מה עשו היהודים שרצחו להם משפחות, אנסו אותם וחטפו להם אזרחים.
And this is the thing that I just genuinely find perplexing. Because it's just like, literally, I cannot understand how you could support Israel at this point in the year 2024. It's literally just like, this is literally just every single, like, fucking, like pro-Israel progressive, like, fucking Long Island Democrat, who thankfully is now, like, off Twitter. Thankfully, good riddance. Go fuck yourself, I don't care. Literally, it's literally just like, come on. Aren't you being a little bit hyperbolic in calling Israel a genocidal and racist state? Isn't that a little bit hyperbolic? And then members of the fucking cabinet of Israel will literally say,
אני אישית גאה בהריסות של עזה, ושכל תינוק, גם עוד 80 שנה מהיום, יספר לנכדיו מה עשו היהודים שרצחו להם משפחות, אנסו אותם וחטפו להם אזרחים.
And also, as a person pointed out when I showed this to our campaigns, like, hey, isn't this the woman who literally just called herself a proud racist? And I'm like, yeah, and she's in the same cabinet as a guy who literally praised himself for calling himself a fascist homophobe. It's like, it's just weird. Literally, it's just like we live in this weird world where it's just like, come on, Israel isn't being that evil. And then it's like Israel literally will go like, I want to murder every single Palestinian in the world. It's just like, they seem pretty evil to me. Anyways, I wonder how our American politicians are doing about this. I wonder how they're reacting to this Israel-Palestine thing. Let's check Andy Ogles and see what he's up to.
The footage of
You've seen footage of
shredded children's bodies. And that's my taxpayer dollars. I'm going to bomb those kids.
So I think we should kill them all, if that makes you feel better. Everybody,
Okay. But anyways, let's just move on to the next story, which is semi-related. Alright, so UK Commons Speaker faces more calls to resign after a chaotic Gaza ceasefire debate. So, here's what's been going on. Let me see if
I understand that the second motion on the order paper will not be moved today. This is a highly sensitive subject on which feelings are running high in the House, in the nation, and throughout the world. I think it's important on this occasion that the House is able to consider the widest possible range of options. I have therefore decided to select the amendments both in the name of the Prime Minister and in the name of the Leader of the Opposition.
Now, I'll explain why that's a little bit controversial, because apparently here's how it works. So, here's what happened. The Scottish National Party pushed for a Gaza ceasefire bill in the UK House of Commons. And typically, what happens is when they propose a bill, they have a brief moment called question time, where they talk about the bill, and then, usually what happens is members of the opposition and of the government can talk about the bill and propose amendments to the situation. However, in precedent tradition, what usually ends up happening is that they only allow the one that is proposed by the government to be amended into the bill. But as the video just showed, he decided, like the speaker, who I should remind you is a former Labour MP, has decided to put in both the amendments, which people found perplexing because this goes against every single precedent. And the Scottish National Party and the Conservatives staged a walkout in the chamber because they're just like, this is stupid. And as it is shown, he's facing calls to resign. Now, I was originally thinking that there was going to actually be a vote that I could go over, but unfortunately, I don't think the vote has happened yet. Or if it has, I can't find it because it isn't labeled as a Gaza ceasefire vote if it's there. But I think it just didn't happen yet. Alright, so speaking of Gaza and ceasefire, finally some progressive, like some US news. Progressive Caucus loses another pro-Israel member. Richie Torres is one of the most vocally pro-Israel Democrats in the House and has left the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Now, I actually wanted to check this for sure, because like first people noticed it was a quiet leaving. Like the last time this happened, I think they stated in here. Louis Frankel left the group in November. She had like a public exit from the group, saying like, "Oh, I leave the group." And I think another person left the group, Joe Morelli, and he like kind of publicly left the group. But Richie Torres was a very quiet one. Like literally, the first thing people noticed was, "Hey, wait." I looked at the Progressive Caucus's website, and Richie Torres wasn't there. And I actually wanted to verify it myself. So instead of going to the Congressional Progressive Caucus website, I went to the Congressional Progressive Caucus PAC website, and I wanted to see if he was there still. Like, because, I mean, it didn't necessarily mean that he would still be in the caucus. It just meant like, oh, I wanted to see if it was updated or whatever. Sure enough, he was gone from there too. So it's like, yes, he's definitively left the Congressional Progressive Caucus because pressure is building. Like, we're seeing many, many more progressive and even, like, liberal members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus just openly stating that they support a ceasefire. And Richie Torres just doesn't. I genuinely do not understand. And this is where things are getting really perplexed. Because there are members of Congress that are Jewish and have been very openly pro-Israel for the entirety of the congressional tenure, have been really hardline on this issue, like Jerry Nadler, and even newer guys like Dan Goldman. Even they are openly calling for a ceasefire. But Richie Torres isn't. And everybody is so fucking confused. Why, Richie? Why, of all of the issues, is this your go-to? Why is this your pet issue? This just doesn't seem to make sense. Like, I don't understand. Like, it just genuinely does not make any sense. Like, and he seemed to be, and he did the thing where it was like, oh, I'm Jewish. I'm kind of Jewish. He's like, what is going on? Like, people are genuinely confused. Like, what is going on? Like, is it gonna, like, my conspiracy theory is that Richie Torres just got some really good Jewish dick in high school. I genuinely think that might even just be it. He might have just gotten some really good Jewish dick in high school or like college or whatever, and he just cannot and he's doing everything he can to make sure that happens. Like that Israel is satiated or whatever, or he's a whore to AIPAC. I don't know. I even made jokes like Richie Torres when he leaves AIPAC, and then it's like a guy who like opens their mouth and milk falls out. Haha, get it? Come. Anyways. Like, several House Democrats told Axios that it was a long time coming. And look, they even went so far as to say this. Shocked he was ever in the CPC. Torres has been real pro-Israel and from the Bronx. That's a good place for him to be, said another, adding, I think he's had it with the squad. Okay, bye-bye, who cares? Fuck you. Genuinely, this guy... And here's the thing. I was originally gonna. I think this is gonna be a big thing. This is a big thing just because I think it's actually doing something interesting. I think this has officially canceled an episode I had in mind, because I was originally gonna make an episode about pro-Israel progressives, but at this point, I think that idea is gone, because I was gonna use Fetterman and Richie Torres as prime examples. But the thing is, I think it's literally over. I think we are officially getting to the point where you can no longer be a pro-Israel progressive. And that's good. Good thing, genuinely. I don't think anybody can be pro-Israel and be progressive. Genuinely. If you're pro-Israel, leave. You are nothing to me. Alright, so I guess with all that out of the way, let's just move on to the main topic of this video. And yes, I'm going to be making a tier list of every single Pluribus Unum video with some added bonuses. I wanted to do basically every single main series video with some additional things that aren't necessarily main series videos. Like, I included the ultimate theory of multiple tendencies and how to make leftist videos. I originally wanted to include podcasts in here too, but the fact of the matter is, I just felt that it wasn't really... That would just be way too long. I just felt that honestly be way too long. And, as you can see, like, I mean, this video is going to become immediately outdated because there's going to be a video that's going to come out this week. So as I plan to keep adding to it and then maybe making the list more public every so often. But yeah, I genuinely do want... I genuinely think this would be a fun way to celebrate 300 podcasts. So yeah, let's just get into it. I think I guess we'll just go on like this level. Like just go in chronological order. Alright, so the first video of them all, my top 10 third-party performances post-1900 OG video. Honestly, I really like it. I mean, I still really like the video, albeit if I could stomach the like old audio flubs and like my very strange manner in talking in podcasts. So yeah, aside from that, I think I would put this, like, I mean, if it was made perfectly, it could probably go in A, but for the sake of this, I'll just put it in B for now. That time Roseanne ran for president. Basically a precursor to Who Is. I didn't think it was notable to go over Roseanne's entire history, so I was only going to go over the most prominent parts of her political history, the time she ran for president. And this video is really weird now, especially considering Roseanne Barr has taken a very far right turn. I'm going to put this one in C. It's fine, but not the best it could be. It seemed like it didn't really seem like it went anywhere. I guess it was just a video that I just had to make early on, I guess. It just really seemed like that was the only way it could go. History of the Reform Party video. This is a video that I think is really, really good. This video, like, I mean, it was the first party history video, and as you can tell, those became my bread and butter. So I would have to say that this video is very good. Okay, let me think about it. I'm trying to think where it would go. History of the Reform Party. It was a really... I would put it in, like, A, not necessarily S rank, because it just it doesn't really hit well. I should probably mention this. Originally, I planned to make the top 10 E Pluribus Unum videos and the top 10 worst E Pluribus Unum videos, but the problem is, I just didn't feel like it worked. I just didn't feel like it really clicked well, because I was going to dedicate the first 2 main series episodes this year talking about it, but then I decided to take 2 videos that were a little bit iffy and just move those to the beginning of the year. Alright, we're doing the tier list instead though. Who is Jack Feller? Honestly, this is... The reason why I mention this is because this is one of the ones that was going to be in that. Honestly, this one is a solid F. Almost everything about this video just doesn't work. Like, I mean, I talk weird, I express things in a very odd manner, I picked the fucking worst color, the fucking absolute worst color to be the thing that you stare at for a long period of time. It's why I'm trying to go with a more darker color now. Or at least colors that aren't like that glaring. History of the Libertarian Party video. I'll honestly say this. I honestly think this might be S. First S rank, honestly. I think this one works. This one works really well. It's an appropriate length for a party history video. It goes through a decent amount of the history of the party. I included a lot of things to make this unique. And it just seemed like it was a really good video. I would probably, it might be a high A, but I would probably put it in S just because it just seems like it fits. What is classical liberalism? This is one of those first of the ideology videos that was made to basically make it so that the next video had more ample time to work on it. Because since I did it weekly, I would work on 2 videos at a time. And honestly, this one, I'd probably put it in D. I would just probably spoil it and say I think a lot of them are going to go in D. Because it just seems like they really just are bland videos to me. Who is Eugene V. Debs? This is either A or S. Because this... I'll put it only an A because I genuinely think that I want to remake this video. I think I could really improve on this video a lot more, and it just seems like it would work better if I remade it. It doesn't have, it's not that bad, but it's just it just barely reaches the mark of where I would like it to be an S. What is social democracy? Simply put, D as well. I would probably put this higher when I was originally around, being like, I love social democracy. It's like, fuck off, dude. Alright, Constitution Party video. I have to say, this one probably also goes in V, because even at the time, I understood that this Constitution Party video seemed like a little lackluster. As I've looked into it more, I'm just like, man, this one just seems like really lackluster. I guess I just wasn't that interested in the Constitution Party to the point where I kind of neglected a little bit on the research on this one. But it did have its moments, but unfortunately, it just didn't have enough of its moments. D's Nuts 2016. Honestly, I'll have to put it in E because I just kind of made it as a meme. Just like, hey, isn't it funny that this guy like ran like a presidential campaign? I wonder how this kid's doing now. He was like a year older than me, so I wonder how this guy's fucking doing now. Top 10 third-party performances pre-1900. Honestly put this one in A, cause I guess by that time I kind of perfected a little bit on what I wanted to do with the channel, so it just seemed like it fit better. I have less interest in remaking this one than I did with this one, obviously, but it just seemed like it worked. Although I will, wait. I'll put it in I'll put it in B. No. Yeah. I just don't think I can put it any higher than the OG one. So I think it just works better that way. History of the Green Party. Since I was very interested in the Green Party, this one I put a lot more effort into. I'll put it in A. But I will say it could have been S, but I remember a very specific audio error I made in it that just didn't really work. And also the Green Party now is a little cringe now, so yikes. It probably would be a lot more interesting if I did remake it, just so I could go all in depth over the fucking 2020 Green Party fiasco. Colors in politics. Now, this one is in a little bit of a range, because the video itself, I would probably put it in E, or maybe even a D, but just because of the history of the video, I'm going to put it in F. And the reason why is because this video is probably the closest thing that I got on this channel to basically downright plagiarism. Now, I did not plagiarize the video. I did not take the video script from any other source. What happened was, there was a YouTube channel, a history YouTube channel named Grant Hurst. And I was interested in like random political YouTube channels at the time. Grant Hurst had uploaded a video going over all the different political meanings of colors. And at the end of the video, he said that he was going to go over, despite the fact that in most countries, red is socialism and communism, and blue is conservatism, how come the Democrats are blue and Republicans are red? And he said that he was going to make that video soon. But by the time that I went to that channel, the channel looked dead. He hadn't uploaded in months, and he wasn't touching this topic at all. So I decided that I was going to make the video instead. But I felt that it wouldn't necessarily work if I just made the video and then went and be done with it. So instead, I decided to take the original concept and do it. And then I would lead into the video. In retrospect, I should have just done this video and then spammed in his comment section the video, and it would have worked because inevitably he did end up doing this topic as a video, but it was just honestly yeah, honestly, just screwed off. All right, so the one that is better than it, I have to put it in C. It's pretty good, but not really the best. Christian democracy. Yeah, honestly, this one just seems worse quality than social democracy one. I'll put it in D. Yeah, I guess I'll just have to say again, like, I think most of the political ideology videos are going to go in D. History of the citizens and consumer parties. Lesser known political party to talk about. I think it's interesting, so I'll put it in C. But yeah, again, it could have been better. It probably could have been better. I probably could have expanded upon it a little more. This is one of the first ones where I actually expanded upon my own research and went against one of the main sources that I use, Wikipedia. So what ended up happening was, Wikipedia, when they talk about the Citizens Party, they don't even mention the fact that Nader was even courted for the nomination. But I mentioned that fact. It wasn't even on Nader's Wikipedia page, and I added it in later. Top 11 best U.S. senators. I think this one definitely... I'd put it in A. Like, I mean, this could be an S rank video, but I could also put it in A. But I think I would put it in B, just because now that I've looked a lot more into the Senate, I genuinely do think that there are a lot more people that I could have put in this video instead. And also, the number one is a little bit of a cop-out. Like, the only reason why I made it at top 11 is because Bernie would obviously be number one. And I just wanted people to know, like, yeah, I love Bernie. But, yeah. There were some people who could have been a lot better. History of the Peace and Freedom Party video. Honestly, despite a lot of its flaws in its, like, recording due to the fact that it's an older video, I honestly think it's pretty good. I'll put it in A. Especially considering it went over a lot of the good things of this party. Like, genuinely, I think this is fascinating. I like this video. And it's very interesting considering the fact that I might be making another video on the Peace and Freedom Party in the future, but not in a highly edited manner. Alright. Next video on the agenda. The other 2012 Democratic presidential candidates. Honestly, A or S? That's my divide. A or S? I'll put it in A for now, just because this is a series that I do generally like, and I wish I did this series a lot more, because the only reason why is just because it's a little long to cover all these minor candidates in these, like, bigger elections. But I genuinely do think that this was good, especially considering I shouted out to John Wolfe Jr., RIP to a G. But I just genuinely like this one in particular, because it just seemed like I put a lot of effort into this. Who is Evan McMullin? Honestly, this was an early script idea that I had, and I just wanted to do it for the sake of doing it. C. History of the American Independent Party. I'll go with A with this one, because this is one that is very interesting just because the American Independent Party is usually only looked at for Wallace's run, but I show that the party has continued to maintain its agenda moving forward. But yeah, it just shows that it's just this, like, relic of this old racial segregationist time. And interesting because it's the opposite of the Peace and Freedom Party. Who are New Democrats? Honestly, I think this one's even worse than the rest of them, because I think this one I kind of get, like, ideology wrong, because I refer to New Democrats, Establishment Democrats, Clinton Democrats, and all this other stuff as universally the same thing, and neoliberals. I include them all as the same thing, and that's just not right. So E for E. I don't even know how to fucking, like, I didn't even know a joke for that. I'm very tired. I should be doing this at a different date, but no, I need to do this now so I can prepare for the video. History of all three progressive parties. Honestly, this one could be A, but I think the fact that I included all three of them in one video instead of giving them all individually their own videos is kind of a bad idea. So maybe I'll put it in B, because it's a good idea in theory, but I think it probably would have been better if I, like, gave each of these progressive parties their own videos. And we are getting their own to an extent because, well, actually, no, not only Wallace's technically gets 2 different other videos for me to expand upon it because of my History of the Communist Party video, which we'll get to in a second, but also the American Labor Party video that's going to be coming out soon. Alright, so next one is the first Mexican presidential election series video. Honestly, I'll put it in D just because I like the concept and I like the idea. First one wasn't that good. And with that, I'll also include the second one in D as well because these 2 videos just weren't that good. What is paleoconservatism? Oh boy. What is paleoconservatism? My most popular video, but just genuinely wow. I don't understand. Why is that one my most popular video? And I think the problem is this video didn't deserve to be my number 1. It doesn't. It genuinely does not deserve to be my number 1 video. But the fact that it does, the fact that it is sad. I'll put it in E. Like, it's not necessarily that bad, but it gets dragged down a lot because it's my number 1 video. Why is this one my number 1 video? And we conclude the first year of my channel with the top 10 Pluribus Unum groups of 2018. And I think for this one, I just gotta put it in S. I like the tradition of the screw it videos, and genuinely, I'm gonna keep that tradition going. Every year, we're gonna do a screw up list. Doesn't matter how many episodes or how many ones are gonna get in it. Every year, we're doing a screw up list. We start 2019 with the next presidential election series of Mexico. Genuinely, this one's a little bit better than the other one. No, wait. No, I think this one's on the same level. D. The other 2016 Democratic candidates. This one is a little bit sad because I only focus on these 4, which, because the video was getting pretty long as it was. So, I mean, it's fine, so I'll put it in C, but it's not the best of the series. This one, honestly, this one also goes in D. I like this. I mean, you'd think that I would not like this series because I keep putting all these videos in D, but that's because all of these earlier ones I didn't have a lot to talk about because there wasn't that much information available at the time. And, well, I mean, not just at the time. There's a lot of lacking information overall in these early elections, but also it just didn't come out right because, again, early year drama, early year issues. Who is George Edwin Taylor? Honestly, for the first video of Black History Month, I genuinely like this one. It talks about a lesser known historical figure, and it just is good celebrating Black history. But B, it's pretty B. It's not the best of Black History Month videos or presidential candidate videos, but it's definitely like B. History of the Socialist Party. Honestly, this one I think I'll have to go in S. I mean, aside from the issues of growing pains of the fucking, again, early year drama, this one is the first party history that, aside from the libertarian, this one was on the same level as a Libertarian Party video in my eyes, in the effort I put into it and in the way it turned out, because it didn't seem basically how I visioned it in my head and how it planned out is where I thought it was going to go. Alright, so next Mexican presidential election series video. Honestly, C or D, C or D, C or D. The fact that I didn't mention Jose Vasconcelos's really weird racist ideas probably puts it in D. The other 2016 Democratic candidates. Wait, it doesn't even say the 2016. What the heck? But honestly, I like this one better than the other one. I'll put this one in A with the other 2012 Democrats. I honestly like this one because genuinely, I just think it like, because it shows like lesser known candidates. Like, I mean, these guys were fine, but I think it would be better if I just merged these two into one video. Maybe it'll be a compilation, but given the fact that you saw how the compilation was planning out, probably not going to happen. The 1934 Mexican presidential election video, honestly, I'll put this one in B. This one is the one that I genuinely liked and got into. Like, when I started looking into Mexican politics and saw Lazar Cardenas, this video really sparked my interest and was like, oh, this might actually be interesting. But still a little bit of growing pains for the series. History of Unity 08 and Americans Elect. It seemed like an interesting idea, but B, it was fine, but I think it could have been better. 1940 Mexican presidential election video. Probably C. It was fine. It was kind of continuing the drama of 1934. And this is where things started changing and things started getting a bit better with the series. Like 1934, 1940, that's when things started like changing a lot in the idea of the series. What is progressivism? Honestly, same level, D. Because the thing is, I mixed a lot of things with... You know what? Actually, I'm going to put this one in E as well. Because the thing about progressivism is that since it's such an amorphous term, I kind of just went all out on it. It was just a little all over the place. LGBTQ first in U.S. politics. Despite the fact that this video was kind of haphazardly thrown together for Pride Month, I honestly think it was pretty good. I'll put it in C. C because it could have been better. Because if it wasn't haphazardly thrown together, it could have been a lot better. But I think it turned out fine for a video that was haphazardly thrown together. Next presidential election one, honestly, same level, C, maybe B, but for now I'll just say C. Top 10 videos I'd like to do but probably won't. Honestly, I'll put this in E, because the fact of the matter is, this list isn't really needed at all. I only did this list because it was a thing that the Nostalgia Critic did. It just seemed like it was a thing it just seemed like a thing that the Nostalgia Critic would do, so I did that. And a lot of the ones in this video don't even make sense. Like, oh, I won't do generic history videos. I am not a history YouTuber. I'm just a political history YouTuber. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like, what? Oh, I'm not gonna do movie reviews. It's like, no shit. You're not the fucking Nostalgia Critic, dude. And that would backfire immensely because I would end up doing movie reviews. And yeah, that's another issue is that some of these, like one of these I literally contradicted at the end of the next year. So it's like, yeah. 1950 Mexican presidential election video. I think it's the year. Regardless of the year, I think I put this one in B. This one's pretty good just because it had more candidates to talk about. Like, it was the first time that the PAN ended up becoming a main thing. We got the rise of two left-wing factions towards the PRI. This was just a more interesting election to talk about. Top 10 presidential elections. Honestly, again, E. I think it was way too early to make this video, in retrospect. But I don't think any of my results of this necessarily have changed. But, yeah, I think it just genuinely probably could have either saved this for a future year or not done this at all. This one, I think it's pretty much D. B, just because Cardenas is in it. No, C, that's C, not D, or B. What is democratic socialism? Sure. Thinking. Sure, thinking. Because democratic socialism is based. But it's still like a normal party history video. And Edward Bernstein's in it, so I guess I'll just put it in D. The next Mexican presidential election video. This one, C as well, because this is where things start getting more interesting as we get closer and closer to the modern day. And I'll put this one in there as well, because again, getting a little bit... No, wait. I think these ones probably deserve to be in B, as well, like B, because this is where we start getting into the bigger parts of Mexican political history. That's where things start getting interesting. History of the Socialist Party video, I'll put this one in A, because this one is the lesser sequel to its brother, but honestly, I think I probably should have waited a little bit to make this video, because again, like, spacing out. I need to fucking space out the party history videos. Now I've learned that. So, yeah. And we closed 2019 with the Pluribus Unum scripts in 2019. And honestly, I'll have to put this one in B, because I think this one had too many dead spaces in it. They had too many dead spaces. Some of the mistakes were not really 2019 mistakes. And yeah, I didn't even get to have 10. So yeah. Now we begin the next year, 2020, I think, with Joseph Smith's presidential run. Oh, so I guess I did make another one like the Roseanne's run. Honestly, this one, I'll have to put it in. I'll only put it in C because the subject matter is good, but the video still kind of lacked. 1972, I'll put this one in A, just because this is where things get really, really interesting. And I like the funny tidbit that I did where it's like, it's funny. I think it's true when you do this. Hold on, let me check. Search Google for Pluribus Unum. YouTube. I like this. I like that one a little bit, like a lot more, because I think this is true when you do it. When you look it up. I'm trying to see if it... I don't know if it'll show with this one, but I think it's funny. Okay, so I don't think it'll show with this. Yes, it does show with this. Yes. Okay, so notice this. I like the thumbnail. I like the thumbnail joke with this, cuz Valentin Campa is so fucking tiny that he's hidden by the time code. So when you click it, if it shows the video, like, it sometimes shows the thumbnail when you click the video, and it'll show him briefly there, and you're like, wait, what? Like, so at first, it makes it look like that there's just one candidate, but then, of course, as I reveal in the video, it works as a reveal in the video itself, and also, if you click it and you see Valentin Campa in the thumbnail. So, I think that's funny. Congressional Black Caucus video. Honestly, this one is fine, but not really the best. So C. A lot of it is kind of spent literally just naming the original members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Clinton King Jr., honestly, C as well. It just didn't really work that well. It wasn't as good as George Edwin Taylor's. I don't know. I think it might be just because Clinton King Jr. is a little bit different. Shocker. 2 people are different? Wow. Okay, so the next one. Top 12 people who should have ran for president. This one's good. I like this one. But is it worthy enough to... How high is it willing to go? Okay, so I'd put it in A, but there are some mistakes that I make in the video, so I put it in B. There's one part of the video where I accidentally have Jesse Ventura overlap the logo of the fucking party. And it's just like, ugh. And when I had Lincoln Chafee's one, his text is so contrasts with the background so much that it's completely unreadable. The 2012 Republican, like other 2012 Republicans, it's 2012, right? Yeah, 2012. The other 2012 Republicans, I like this one as well. This one goes in A with the other 2012 Democrats. I think this one works just because of the fact that a lot of these guys are really much lesser knowns. Except for Tim Pawlenty, who I include in the video. I think it's funny that he's on their level. Alright, so 1982 election. This one I'll put in B because this is where things start getting a little, like, they die down a little bit in this election video. But this is where things, like, we're starting to get to places where things are getting interesting again. But they die down a little bit in this video. Prohibition Party video. I have to say this. S. It just has to go in S. Sorry, but Prohibition Party, I spent a long time making that video. I literally uploaded that video like months in advance, I think. It just was a video that I spent a lot of time working on. The only downside is, again, the color. I should have made it a darker pink. That's the one problem. But thankfully, other ones work well. Just because it's a really long party history video, it just works. 1988, I'll have to say this. I think this one also goes in S. Because this is where things really start falling off the deep end in Mexican politics. With Cuauhtemoc Cárdenas entering the scene, that's where things start getting interesting, start getting fun. And I like the video effect I did at the end where it was like, and he. Like, that was the whole, I think that was literally the thing. I planned that literally at the beginning when I was going to go through this election, that when I would get to that one, I would do the system crashing. And yeah, I could have done it better, but, you know, again, still a little baby boy. First one of a interesting idea of, like, doing opinionated videos. I don't think I do much of those. Why forming the Supreme Court doesn't work? I should probably make a video reacting to my arguments in this one to see how good it is. Because I think the arguments are good, but it just seems like I think, like, because literally the whole thing about it is semantics. Because this whole, like, throughout my whole life, I've been this whole semantics person where it's like, oh, we need to particularly say the particular definition of this particular thing. That's why for a whole period of my time, I identified as social democrat. It's like, technically the views are technically social democracy. And it isn't until this year that I figured out why I'm probably like that kind of particulars person, which you'll find out in podcast number 301. All right, let's move on to the next one. 1994, I think this is the election. I'll put this one in A because it's a good election. And the only thing that makes this video interesting is just because I included video clips from the debate, and I thought it was good. The only downside is I included one from a Mexican presidential, like, TV series, so it was a black and white video, and the other one I included from actual live footage from the debate, so it's in color, and I probably should have looked for the video in that colored version as well, but, whatever. Who is Charles Woods? I didn't like this video as well. But I think I like the fact that I talk about a lesser known figure, but it's pretty bland. It's a pretty, like, run-of-the-mill video, so I'll put it in B. 2000 Mexican election. I'll put this one in A, because, again, things get a little more interesting in this video, but they don't get that quite interesting quite yet. What is neoconservatism? Honestly, I think this is the first ideology video that I think is actually good enough to stand away from these ones. Just because of the fascinating history behind the term neoconservatism, I put it in C. 2006, that's where things get really, 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 really interesting. S rank, we see the rise of AMLO and the rise of his political feats. What is the Tea Party? I think this one's pretty average, C. 1968 Democratic National Convention. A pretty good video, and a video idea that I had for a long period of time. Like, this whole, like, watermark of historical events, I literally... have I done this with any other one? I think I have done this with, like, a different video as well. Wilmington Insurrection. Where is it? Wilmington Insurrection. Where the fuck is it? There it is. Yeah, I included it for that one, but I think at that point I might have actually deleted it. Like, at some point, because it's just like, I don't really do much for that. In fact, I'll also probably include a poll. Should I get rid of these watermarks, essentially? Because they don't really serve a purpose that much, outside of, like, covering an aspect. The politics and media ones, I'm not getting rid of. I put a lot of effort into doing those ones. But the ones that I don't put effort into, would you be fine if I got rid of them? I'll probably include a poll with this episode. Okay, so 1968 Democratic Convention. Pretty good idea, but the problem is it's copyright claimed because I couldn't edit in proper things for one section, which I could have also done if I did a draw cartoon thing, which I was going to do, but at the time I removed draw cartoon from my phone because it was taking too much space, and I could have done better with that. Next one, 2012. Honestly, this one isn't as interesting as 2006, but it is still interesting. Gotta keep it that. History of presidential debates. Honestly, this one I kind of like, albeit this one is I don't remember if I saw the video, but there was a video where it was like it was a history of debates, and I had to put it in I like the video a lot, but I cannot for the life of me remember if I borrowed elements from a video that I saw previously, or if I came up with the idea and then watched the video. I can't remember. This one, S. Whole reason I made the series was so I can get to talking about ammo. That was the whole reason I did that whole series. S rank 100%. And similarly put, I put the spoiler effect debunked in S rank. I don't necessarily know if I agree with the whole arguments to this day, but if I watch it again, I think I will still agree with basically everything that's said in this video. I wanted to do a reaction to this video in a bit, but I don't know if I will. So let me know if you want to see that. But I think I do generally like this video, and I do believe a lot of the things I still said in this one. Maybe I acknowledge that I will say that there may be some elements that I might slightly disagree on because it's more of like a case-by-case basis in some degrees. But yep, genuinely like this video. First ever gubernatorial recall election. Honestly, the only reason I did this video was so I could get into talking about the California recall, but I think for that, it is a pretty good video. I'll put it in B. And for the California recall, I think that one should be an A, because I think this one is really well put together and it's very interesting. And top 60 members of the U.S. House of Representatives. Honestly, this one, F. Some of the people on the list are just outdated, and the list could use some restructuring, which is why I actually have decided to remake this video, but I'm doing it with the actual traditional plan that I had in my mind, which was I was going to rank 435 members of the House of Representatives, and I managed to find 435 members of the House of Representatives that I could definitively say I had a positive viewpoint on to an extent. Alright, first episode of Politics and Media. What is the X rating? And honestly, for a first episode that had absolutely nothing to do with the video subject at hand, honestly, I liked it. I think just because it doesn't necessarily talk about politics, I'll put it in A. But I did like this branching off and doing a different thing. So yeah, pretty good. Top 10 Pluribus Unum scripts of 2020. S, just because of that whole Chamber of Deputies thing at the end. Yeah. Alright, so now we're on to 2021. The worst Mexican president's video. Pretty good video, but not the best. And since it was the first one that I did that had the new editing software, some growing pains, so A. Similarly put with its sequel, Who is Hiram Rebels? Really like this video, I think it's good, but I think this is where I started to realize I had to branch off from just doing the firsts of each like thing for black representatives. And I'll put Joseph Rainey in that same token because I liked the videos, but I was kind of like, I had to do these videos because that's what I had to do. And it seemed like I didn't even understand the concept of like I could change things up for the format for this. And thankfully I did learn about changing the format to do Black History Month related films and TV shows and whatever. So yeah. Star Wars OG Trilogy. I'll have to put this one in A. I like this, but unfortunately since the OG Trilogy isn't that well adept in politics, and I had to basically do a lot of like history analysis of the weapons, it's pretty okay, but just could be better. The other 2020 Republicans genuinely like this video a lot. I'll put this in S. Just because I get to like... there were a lot of things in this video that I just genuinely really liked. Especially when I got to talk about these three and Rocky. So yeah. The time Ralph Nader debated dolls. Pretty good forte into the lost media sphere, but it could have been better. Not B. A. How many socialists were elected to Congress? Just because, it could have been S, but since I didn't get all of them in one video, A. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Honestly, I genuinely didn't even plan on making this video. I didn't plan on making this video. Literally the week after, I literally was watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then it would only hit me until halfway through that. I'm like, oh shit. I can make a video on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just make a video on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think I literally canceled a different video for that. And yeah, so I did that. And despite the fact that it was still a little haphazardly thrown together, it really turned out really well. Especially since I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I genuinely had a lot to say. Top 10 best governors. S. Just because my main man, Floyd B. Olson, R.I.P., stomach cancer's a bitch. The lost Huey Long, Norman Thomas debate. Another good forte in the lost media. A. Just because, sadly, still no search. I emailed the people about this a year ago, still haven't heard anything back. What is fusionism? D. Similarly with other political ideology videos, just couldn't really pan out. It wasn't really the best. The hidden pro-trans film. This could have been S, but it just didn't really work out that well, so I put an A. But it also shouts out a very problematic individual, Aaron Green, who fucked their underage brother, so B. Who is John B. Anderson? Genuinely really liked this video. Thought it was really, really good. A. History of the Social Labor Party video. No ifs, ands, or buts. Pretty obvious. S rank. Similar to the Prohibition Party video. Just a lot of things I had to do for that video. And I think I also uploaded this a month or 2 months in advance. Because I just needed to work on it so much. And that's why I have to keep working hard on this current video project. Because it's I just need to keep working on it. Top 10 more best senators. I like this one, but not as good as the original. Actually, wait. I was about to say not as good as the original. I was about to rank it higher than the original. So yeah, since it's no better than the original, I had to put it on the same level. The Karl Marx anime episode. Really love this episode. A. Could have been better because this was kind of like my first forte into like, I think, true reviewing of a thing, aside from, I guess actually this would be it. But yeah, I guess the first forte into reviewing a TV show. But yeah, I think this generally is pretty good. Put it in A. Okay, so Hiram Johnson video. Genuinely also really good. I think this one might actually be an S rank for this series. I think that's genuinely good. More than Eugene Debs? Yeah. I guess it's just because I really thought the subject matter was pretty good. I think this was also a request. The person who requested this is now problematic and it's cringe now, but I think this one's really good. SpongeBob Socialist. I think I was planning to already do this topic, but then since another person on Reddit did it, I credited them. But since it was only since I basically mostly read a Reddit post on it, I have to put it in B for Bob. 2010 South Carolina Senate race. Thought this one was an interesting, like, random race to talk about. A. 1941 Disney animator strike. I mean, even though a lot of other people talked about it, there was no other strike that I had to start with. Genuinely good S rank. 4 politicians who were killed on camera. Very unfortunate that this video, it could have been good, it could have been great, it could have possibly been an S rank. But since of the big glaring audio problems, F. Who is Rocky De La Fuente? Genuinely really good. Love this one as well. I think I'll even put this one in S. Genuinely, I think I'll put this one in S just because Rocky's such a weird fucking figure. And I like the editing that I did for that part where it's like, and then he files to run in California as a Republican, then in Florida, then in Minnesota, then in Washington, then Wyoming. I was just listening to this one when I was doing like a walk around the neighborhood, and I genuinely did like this one. Because Rocky De La Fuente's family is so fucking weird. El Apostol and Peludipoldis. Honestly, A or S. I'll put it in A. It was pretty good, but just eh. What is the Pink Tide? Episode 100 of the main series videos. Since my love of the Pink Tide, S. Pluribus Unum Scripts 2021. S. Generally, I just like this one. Meanings behind political emojis. First video that was exported in 1080p. Unfortunately, it was only edited in this one. And since I didn't cover all the emojis, I'll put it in C. No, I'll put it in B. Who is Super Mario Gomez? Pretty interesting figure, but B. This just seems like a B video to me. I don't know why. Judas and the Black Messiah. Pretty good movie, and interesting subject matter to talk about. A. What is the Wilmington Insurrection? Honestly, since this is again a little bit of a divergence into the mainstream, I'll put this one in S. Not a lot of people talk about the Wilmington Insurrection, unfortunately, and yeah, I think this one's pretty good to talk about, even if it is a very unfortunate truth about Black history. Tonight We Riot. First forte into gaming, but unfortunately, pretty bland. B. How many fascists were elected to Congress? Pretty good episode. S. Gotta give it a solid S. Because I think this one's pretty good. Just genuinely, we're gonna, like, as we get closer and closer to the modern day, we'll start to realize a lot of the earlier ones we're starting to get a lot more into like the lower ranks. This one is where they can start getting into higher ranks. The American Dream movie. Honestly, yeah, I gotta put this one in S2. Because I like the ones where I have an idea that no one else talks about. And I do it, and it's my idea. I like that. No one talks about this fucking movie anymore. But I did, because I remembered it, and I was like, hey, this might be an interesting thing to talk about. And sure enough, it was an interesting thing to talk about. The California Epic Race. Yeah, even though this one is one that a lot of people talk about, I think it's pretty good as well. Actually, I'll put this one in S2. I genuinely like this one. I don't know. Does this year have a lot of bangers? I think this year might actually have a lot of bangers. The Lost film adaptation of The Jungle. Pretty good one, but sadly still no search. The search still hasn't turned up any results. A. Top 9 SCOTUS judges. I like this one. S. Nah. I'll put this one in A. The Ultimate Theory of Multiple Tendencies. Pretty good. I like this one. I think it's a funny video. A. It would have worked better if someone actually sang it. And I tried to get someone to sing it, but they literally told me no. And I told them, like, hey, here's the idea, and they literally just told me, like, no, I'm not going to do it. It's like, fuck you then. Fuck you. I don't care. Fuck you. Prequel trilogy. SSS. Love this one. Love this one. And I'm surprised I didn't get any copyright claims when I played the Clone Wars opening. Gene Rankin. This one I'm also going to put an S. I like this one. I like, again, figure that not a lot of people heard about. Could be an interesting figure. This one. Man. This one was one that I planned to be a bigger video than it actually was. But it just didn't pan out. I liked the video. I liked the stuff that was in it. But unfortunately, since it didn't get to do what it really was supposed to do, D. William Jennings Bryan. I like William Jennings Bryan. Not a lot of people talk about him for some reason. S. Alright. G.I. Joe Renegades. Despite the fact that this video performed really poorly, I actually really liked it. I liked the show. I liked the analysis of the show. I put an A. Top 10 even more best senators. I think this one is where things start getting a bit more like closer to my actual beliefs now. So A. Mr. Rogers is a progressive. And I'm trying to think. S or A? I think this would be almost A, except for the fact that I find out like literally at the last minute that Fred Rogers was bi, so S. I mean, I'm sorry, dude. Communist Party, I guess, right again, more bangers. S. Alright, so next one is top 10 political ads. I hate to say it. Another S rank. No. Is it S? I'll put it in S for now. Maybe I'll re-rank them at the end to see if I really am dissatisfied with the choices, but I don't think I will be. What is third positionism? First political ideology video that is outside of D and actually really good. I would say it's borderline S, but the problem was I was sick when I recorded it, so it just didn't pan out. Aliens are just a CIA cover. I didn't like this one as well. S. The first time where the EPU files actually starts getting good. Let's see. I like this one too. S. This is where things start getting good for this series. This series starts getting bangers now. John Q. Let me think. John Q. I like the movie and I like the analysis of it, but it's still rather like a basic movie review, so I'll just put it in A. U.S. Party Switch. S. because I genuinely, this is the one time where it was like, because there were a couple of videos that I was making around the time that I was writing and like thinking of making a couple of times where I was a little worried because like me and Mr. Beat came up with like basically the exact same ideas for a couple of videos, and it just like, okay. And then sure enough, this was one that I almost felt like I was going to do. Is like a couple of them ended up getting canceled. Georgism, top 10 U.S. presidential nominees. But the one that, and this is the one that I ended up managing to get through, just because I had enough of a different analysis from Mr. Beat, that I was able to fulfill it in my own way. 2007's writer's strike. I had a lot to say about this one, actually. So I'll put this one in A. I liked it, and it could have been better, but otherwise I found it very fascinating. Let's see. Top 11 Pluribus Unum strikes of like doesn't like Doug Walker collabs in this one, so S. Alright, so I think before we get into that, no. I was briefly thinking about doing like the ones I did this year before doing the ones of the storyline year, but no, that'd be stupid. So I'm just gonna do the storyline year, 2023. Oh boy, I wonder how many of these videos are gonna get an S rank. Right off the bat, this one goes in S rank. I genuinely, with this one, I was able to expand upon the ideas even more so. If I could take the first video and then merge it into this one, I would. But that's not going to happen. So, and this one, very incendiary title, and YouTube censored the comment section. S rank, because I genuinely got really impassioned about this movie. Because I'll say it again, Boy with the Striped Pajamas 100% fucking sucks. It's the worst thing ever. Genuinely. It's probably the worst thing I ever actually managed to review on the channel. Okay, PBS Pinchback. Shockable Shocks. No S rank. Honestly, this one's a pretty bland one, so I'll go with B. Similarly to the Hiram Revels and Joseph Rainey one. But I'm glad that I'm starting to like expand a little bit more to be a bit more interesting with the Black History Month ones. Oh, damn it, I just realized, fuck. The Politics and Media one, it doesn't have the same fucking thing. Did I, like, forget to include that one for a lot of the Politics and Media ones? For this year? Fuck. Alright, Sweetback. Honestly, this one, I put an A just because of one fucking joke. It's a joke that I fucking love, and it's a joke at my expense, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people might see it and they might think really bad of me, but it's the joke where I have the police officer, where I cut to the police officer, it's like, Swoopback runs and does this thing, cut to the police officers and then go, where the heck is that nit? And then it cuts, and then I just move on to the next one. Even though I show at the end that it's not that, it is definitely a very cringy moment, but it's a funny moment. American Solidarity Party video. Honestly, American Solidarity Party is kind of like lame, but it's a fine video, so I'll put it in A. It did get the American Solidarity Party's attention because the American Solidarity Party people like started like commenting on the video, like, "Wow, you're wrong because you're gay," and I'm like, "Fuck you, dude." Anyways, Grandpa Goes to Washington. Honestly, just because of the fact that I'll put it in. I'm trying to think, because on one hand there isn't that much like actual analysis of the project in question, but on the other hand it's supposed to be a lost media thing. I'll put it in A, because I do genuinely find myself satisfied with that video. What if the US had more parties? I'll put this one in S. It's a very highly watched video, and it's a very good remake of a video that I thought was very interesting, of an interesting concept. And I'm a little disappointed that JJ McAuliffe didn't watch the video. It's very unfortunate. Maybe he did watch it, but he never made an acknowledgement of it. Maybe he doesn't like me. I don't fucking know. I don't really care if he likes me or not. But I will say one thing about J.J. McAuliffe. If I ever were to do Thoughts On again, he's probably the first person I'm going to do, because I have so much to fucking say about J.J. McAuliffe. The reason why I made this response video in general was truly because I just didn't really agree with JJ's analysis, and it was just so fucking wrong. And I'm glad that I was able to expand upon it, even if I was, to a degree, mocking JJ's, like, video format to an extent, but I think I emulated it pretty well. Aside from, like, sitting on, like, a beanball or whatever. Squirrel and Hedgehog, SSS. Genuinely love this show. Genuinely love my fucking analysis of this show. This show and this video were just so fucking good. The only problem I have with the show is that I didn't make a video, like, make the podcast, like, make the Patreon have the reaction of the series on it. That I thought about doing it after the show ended. Genuinely, it could have done a lot better. What the heck is liberalism? Honestly, I put this one in S as well. This is the first political ideology video that I, for a while, felt genuinely really good with. Just because it was like the term liberal was such an amorphous term and went through so many changes in its lifetime that it warranted a longer video. And if I ever do more political ideology videos, which is kind of unlikely to an extent, but if I ever do more of them, it'll be a lot more like this. Because I have that problem of unfortunately trying to one-up myself, where if a video doesn't feel like it's getting better than the last year's video, then it just doesn't work. I don't like it. How to make leftist videos, pretty good, but unfortunately, this advice doesn't really work for people because I'm still in the low tier rankings. A, top 10 third-party performances redux. S, because this is where I could fix all the problems with the initial video, and it was able to finally reach its S rank status. Star Wars sequel trilogy. A, simply because there wasn't much to say in the video itself. I basically spent this video really ranting on the, like, anti-SJW Star Wars fans, which, if we rank that rant as its own individual thing, then that would put it in S. But, unfortunately, it just doesn't really work. It works, but it just, like, I mean, with this one, I actually got to analyze the fucking movies and stuff. But since the movies itself were so lackluster, but the criticism around it was what I focused on a lot, it just really, it works, but it doesn't really, it's not the best. Right, so who is David McReynolds? I'll put this one in A, because pretty good. Could have been better, but, you know, I liked it. El Baile de los 41. Honestly, it's fine, but it's just, that's just it. It's fine. Okay. Top 10 mayors in U.S. history. Let's see. Honestly, this one, A. I think there's one funny moment, because if I make an E Pluribus Unum out of context compilation, or E Pluribus Unum ones that didn't date so well, there's some moments that are gonna be funny, because Fetterman is shouted out positively in this video, and it's like, yikes. Sure, he's fallen off a lot. And Kucinich is ranked highly in the video, and he's also fallen off, but doesn't really detract from any of the actual videos, like analysis of their mayoralities or anything else. But, you know, some cringe outside elements that I can't control. Plot Against America, S. Genuinely, this couldn't, I liked the show, and it gave me so much to talk about, and I spent a lot of time talking about it. So, yeah, genuinely S. Genuinely think it's good. Here's a hint. Usually the longer videos are the ones that end up getting a higher rank because they spend more time working on them, more time writing them, more time putting effort into them, and they're able to actually get better because of it. Who is Peter Diamondstone? Honestly, only because one small problem is I talked a lot about Bernie in this episode. It's very unavoidable, but I don't know. It just seems like sometimes it might come off as a little bit like it's the Bernie episode starring Pete Diamondstone. But yeah, like you can't really avoid it. But this is a good because I think one of the first ones where I actually kind of like fucking ignored the precedent that I did prior, where it's like, oh, let's go over every single election they participated in. It's like, nah, we don't have to do that. Because with people like him, you can't really do that and make a video that's shorter than fucking like 3 hours. I did like that part where I edited those clips of him at the debate, especially the part where I had to point out, like, this clip is not edited at all. The clip where he, like, starts talking about how they need to shut down aid to Gaza, to Israel to kill the Gaza military, and then literally he's just like, sir, this question has absolutely nothing to do with any of the things you just said. That's just hilarious. Bad optics. The video itself for the game is like B, but the story arc is S, especially considering this was the first story arc part that I actually worked on for the Pluribus Unum story arc. So I have to average it out and put it in A. Chavismo versus Bolivarianism versus socialism of the 21st century. S. Similarly to the liberalism video, this is a good way for me to translate the political ideology format into my newer sort of format. You know, being able to combine 3 videos into one and doing it in an interesting way. Okay, Evita. This was one of the first politics and medias that I wrote, and you can kind of tell. So, I think this one will be in B. Okay. Next video for the Senate races. I'll put this one in B as well, just because the whole list is dragged down by fucking William Borah due to his fucking weird nature in regards to politics. It just feels weird. Alright, so next one. Who is Bud Dwyer? And for this one, I'm going to be ranking the one that is unedited on Patreon. Actually, no, wait. The one that I made on YouTube is actually pretty good, too. So, yeah, I guess for both of them, I'll just put S. Because I actually like... Because, again, most people only know Bud Dwyer due to his suicide. That's all they know him for. This one sort of expands upon it. It explains who Bud Dwyer is prior to the suicide, who Bud Dwyer is, and why he ended up taking his own life. That is what is interesting about this video. And hopefully this video is a bit more in depth and a little bit less biased than his family's documentary regarding him. But the only problem that I have is that it's age restricted on YouTube, even though I took very deliberate claims to make it not as graphic and gory. Like, you know what? Fuck it. No, I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. I was going to show you a clip of the version on Patreon, but I'm afraid this video could get taken down, even though it shows no graphic nature. Here is literally the description of what happens in the video. Bud Dwyer, he tells people, like, don't come over to me or I'll shoot you. Then he puts the gun in his mouth, and then I cut the video feed, but play the audio of him shooting himself in the head and people screaming. Because it just makes sense to do that. I would never plan to show Bud Dwyer, like, blowing his brains out on YouTube. I never planned to do that. Even though that video was fucking readily available on YouTube for everyone to see. You could fucking look up gore and you could fucking look up porn on YouTube. And yet this, an educational video that showed the life of a politician, including its tragic end, that's too far. Fuck off. And even when I did a fucking censored version, that included that literally just took a thing and just covered the whole thing, silenced that whole sequence, and literally played like the EAS alarm system. That was too much for YouTube, apparently. Alright, so next one. Things you might not know about Jim Jones. I like this one as well. Generally, I really like this one as well. S. I think this one really bodes well, because I think it just really shows... I like, especially the messaging at the end, where it's just like, yeah, cults are bad. Shock all shocks. The Spider-Man episode. Honestly, gotta say, this one also S. I like the whole messaging behind this one as well. And I think this was one of the first ones where I make like a video essayist type question and answer thing. And I genuinely came to my own conclusions regarding it. And I think I was able to like explain my points really well. So, yeah. Social Workers Party video. Similarly, S. And I guess I'll just move on to the next one. Why is the left obsessed with Garfield? Now, this one's interesting, because there are some people who had quite a varying different analysis in regards to this video. Some people saying that it was, in fact, like supposed to be satire. It's not necessarily supposed to be satire. The video is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it is still a somewhat serious video. It's like the things it says are serious, but sort of like the actual analysis is a bit interesting. Especially considering I acknowledge it at the end, where it's like, maybe Garfield is supposed to represent what these characters are supposed to be, instead of the evil, capitalist blah blah blahs that they actually ended up becoming. Or maybe he's just a cat that, or maybe they just love a cat that loves lasagna, and I'm reading way too into it. Basically, yeah, tongue-in-cheek reference to a lot of the fact that a lot of video essayists on YouTube will make videos that are literally like the hidden Marxist analysis of fucking Peppa Pig. And it's just like, okay, I'm pretty sure the creators had that exclusively in mind. And I think due to that, due to the fact that the messaging got a little messy, I'll put it only in A. Pluribus Unum scripts in 2023. No ifs, ands, or buts. S. I mean, I'm sorry. That was just gonna happen. That was just gonna happen when I was gonna make the video. This was gonna be number one. I mean, I'm just sorry. I like the ending of it way too much to not rank it any like lower. All right. So top 10 members of the U.S. cabinet. Pretty good video, but pretty bland. Pretty like average. Some of the... I think I actually improved it when I made the video actually, so A. Lost Media. I like this one as well. A. Shirley Chisholm. S. You go, girl. And last but certainly least, Within Our Gates. Pretty average video. I'll put it in B. Alright, so now let me go over it one more time. Do I have any changes I want to make? Let's see. Nope. And with that, happy 300 podcasts, everybody. I hope that you had somewhat of an interesting time reflecting on all these old videos. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell to notify when a future video of mine comes out. And if you want more content from me, you can go to my website, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, or consider supporting me on Patreon.